The truth about shyness: can I stop being so shy? News flash. Being shy isn't about feeling unhappy or even about behaving a certain way. Shyness is the same thing as having a limiting belief, except it's about how you let that belief make your decisions. Can I stop being so shy? When this question is asked, the overwhelming response inside my mind says hell yes. Why? Because fear is only an emotion, and fears usually lead to limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are formed because of irrational thinking, those thoughts we have that get stuck in our minds and create past painful experiences. From these past painful experiences, we form beliefs. When a belief does us harm, it becomes a limiting belief which we can go back to and change to an empowering one. Fear is something you and I can both decide is irrational because it's only causing us pain. When we look deeper into things, we learn it's a response triggered in our minds, because we have not taken the time to learn how to deal with our emotions. For any type of fear, we need to know exactly how it's triggered. When we look at it from the point of view of somebody else, who isn't obsessed with that same fear, we know it's not imminent danger, we don't have a real reason to be concerned about our safety. In other words, we won't die from being embarrassed, we just create a thought about making that comparison. It's a problem for us when we are shy, because we just don't realize this. After all, we are the ones who created the fear from our irrational thoughts, to begin with. Changing your beliefs about fear is a must. More specifically, a fear of, insert fear here. Let's think about what our minds consist of when it comes to seeking things out. We are drawn to pleasure and repulsed by pain. We avoid pain like the plague, and generally go to extremes to find things which are pleasurable. That way we build experiences about pleasurable things, which form a good belief. Where does a belief actually form? Anything that we repeat or are influenced by repeatedly, can become a belief. They form in our minds and we control those beliefs. Just think about it for a few moments. Does everyone have some type of belief system? Does everyone seem to follow those beliefs without needing those to be reinforced each time? Yes, people form a belief system as a way to cope with things as they come up. This way, they are automatically going to decide very quickly what they should do. Knowing that beliefs are formed by our experiences, both good or bad, we learn a few tidbits that allow us to go back and reprogram certain things about those experiences. Taking things by the reins, we will want to work on each one individually. This is the part that gets people to feel despair, because we are going to be required to work hard to remove the unneeded ones. What consists of an unneeded fear versus a needed fear? To know what kind of things we can alter, we must define which fears are needed and which ones aren't. By doing a self-exploration process, known as journaling. Writing down the dreaded activities which we do that we wish didn't involve things like fear, anxiety, lack of motivation, or some other defense mechanism we have in place. It will be quite time-consuming to sit down and address each fear we have individually. But well worth it, if you choose to do that. One thing to keep in mind is that we need to work on the ones we can remove before we work on the ones that need to be tweaked. Unneeded fears are fears that cause us pain. They serve no purpose other than limiting what we want to do and are therefore useless. This is very different from other types of fear, because certain ones are necessary for survival. I don't want to replace any of those because that will probably get me killed. Rejection is a kind of unneeded fear, because it's quite possibly the most ridiculous one. Why do we care about being rejected? This is the type of question we need to figure out, in order to eventually get to the point of letting it go. The world has enough possible situations where 1% acceptance will still end up giving us what we desire. That desire is pleasure of some sort. Even if you get rejected 99 out of 100 times, all it takes is one. I only need one girl to be interested in me, before it can evolve into something wonderful. I only need one person to hire me, before I can unleash my potential and become a brilliant success on the job. What is the problem with only needing 1% approval? As human beings, we get taught all the wrong kinds of things, so after being rejected a few times, we assume things are always gonna be the same. We stop trying, and that is when we form a negative belief such as being a failure. We believe that since 5 girls are not interested in us, that must mean all girls will be the same. There is no way to win when we allow these types of thoughts or beliefs to exist. When we also have a belief about being shy, it's like we have accepted something to be true even without any experience, positive or negative. This genuinely gets thrown around inside our heads, anytime we see a reason for it to be triggered. I think she is cute, but I can't talk to her because I am shy, or because I am too stupid to form words. Exaggerating things because we may not be ready for it to change. That is okay if this is you, because I know how to fix it. The problem with 1% approval is that it's not that hard to succeed. I only bring that up because we almost always feel it's an uphill climb, which for some reason as shy people, we tend to make it 10 times harder to overcome. Stop doing this. When you learn what to believe in, you know how to change for the better. I am not going to mention religion because that really can mess people up in both good and bad ways. What I am interested in showing people, is that we are the ones responsible for what we believe. These may have started early in life, or been pushed on us from other people, but that isn't a problem when you decide and learn to change them. I will be completely honest and open with myself anytime I want to make a change for the better. This is how we can start to diagnose the many issues that trouble us. You may already be spending all your time by yourself, or at least more time than you really want to be. That isn't introversion, by the way, if you want to be social. That is more of an indication that you need to start this process sooner than later, before it gets to paranoia. Whether you know it already or not, these negative thoughts and wrong beliefs slowly drive us to the brink of destruction. When given the chance, these limiting beliefs become much worse. These can be called your inner conflicts, since we all know that something just doesn't feel right about the way we live. Of course we are correct in feeling that way. We all start to feel empty inside because we are faced with an internal conflict. We know we are better than something which is holding us back. We just haven't been able to find the right way to handle the conflict, yet. What should you do right now today to change things? In order to start working on what you perceive as your identity. Shy or whatever the label you have put on it, know that it's not a permanent label. These things can be changed like a temporary tattoo. It's just a matter of scrubbing before we get back to a clean patch of skin. Then we get to find out what really matters to us and start working to understand more about it. We determine what we will believe, because we are the ones wanting to, and not from what anyone else says or does. I get goosebumps whenever I feel something is just right for me. I hope you are able to feel that way too when you are ready to start working on improving yourself. Can I stop being so shy? The answer will always be yes, and you can get things headed in the right direction, right now. Thanks for reading, and if you have anything you would like to ask, please do so below. To get started on a better version of yourself, check out the links below this video.